Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Gosport Junction. I know this isn't long after the last one, and I did say that I wanted to try and make the next one before the kind of year is up, but I have succeeded, and not really just for the sake of it. I really I'm trying to kind of keep going with this because you know, some of you will, when I get actually started building the layout, will be really excited to kind of look back and watch the videos of kind of where I started off and what my initial idea was and how it's developed. Whether that's because you just like to watch that sort of thing, or whether it's because actually you need some inspiration to help you and think about different ways and look at the planning phase. It could be that. And to be honest, I'm also doing this just for my own personal sake. So I have a record of kind of where I started and what I was able to achieve. So today I've got just three quick little updates for you on my sort of progress into the world of N-gauge model railway layout building. And I just thought I would run those through past you guys. So the first one is a question really that I wanted to throw out to you guys and to see if you had any answers. Now I know a lot of people don't. A lot of model railway people who watch other channels probably haven't seen my channel, and so it might take some time to get some feedback, but that's okay because I'm not going to start building for a while. But I had a question with regards to the backboard. Now, in the last video I showed you my plan, and the plan really hasn't changed at all. I still have the layout like so, with two bits coming off, which I can't hold at the same time, but they will be there. But let's see, where is it? It's just here. So you'll see Fareham Station. Let me just try hold this a little bit better. Fareham Station's just here, and there's the line that comes down to Gosport, and then there's going to be this line that branches off, and it's going to go over viaduct. And essentially it's the line that goes to Portsmouth. Now, it's actually going to go behind the backboard here and join onto a board that's going to run all the way the length of the layout, and it's also going to branch down the sides of the layout as well. And the purpose for this is to be able to kind of create this loop so that I can run trains, but at the same time I'm not going to see them. So it gives the impression that when it goes off from Fareham and it goes behind the board, it's on its way to London. And then when you get round to the London scene, it's going to come out through a tunnel, and it's as if it's arrived. And that will take some time, and that kind of builds the impression. But because it's going to be a higher level than the Gosport station, because the Fareham station is actually going to be raised up a little bit, so there's going to be a very shallow incline from just after Brockhurst station, just after that first bridge, all the way up to Fareham station, and the viaduct will also give it some height, and then the board behind the backboard will be the same height, and so that means it'll be running above the level of the Gosport section. And so part of me was wondering whether we have the viaduct curve off and curve it into some countryside, and then have part of the backboard from, say, the viaduct, just before the viaduct. So the viaduct comes off, and it'll go and join that back track along that backboard, and you'll be able to see where it runs across. And I thought I could do some lovely countryside scene. I'm not going to have a lot of space, probably 6 inches worth of board with 2 tracks going there. But I could sort of build up the back one, maybe make it more like a sort of an embankment, or some fields, or just running through some countryside to kind of give it the idea that it's travelling across the countryside of England. So what I'm asking really, and I'm sorry that that's not a very good explanation, it's a little bit long-winded, but what I'm really looking for feedback from you guys is, do you think that I should hide that back bit of track that goes really from Fareham and Eastleigh and the viaduct to London? Should I hide it all behind a backboard scene, which I'm going to do a sky, kind of just a general sky on it? or do I have part of that backboard a little bit lower so you can see that line running, and it would probably run up into the corner where it would disappear into maybe a hillside or some sort of cutting with hills, and then it would come out through the tunnel into the London part of the layout. I'd be really interested to hear your views. I was thinking about this morning. Do I keep the kind of general kind of idea of it and not be able to see a lot of my trains running, or do I put more of the running on view? And then the question is, does it look right on a higher level going by Gosport? And I don't know. I don't know whether I'm going for the visual side of it, or whether just making a layout that runs really well and is fun to run. I don't know. So anyway, that would be what I'd like you to give me some feedback on. The second thing that I update that I have is during the week I was reading about the milk trains, particularly the Southern Railway milk trains, and I was reading about how they would be taken up to Clapham Junction first of all, and then the train of six. There was a train of 6, or a rake of 6, and a rake of 8. There's 2 different times, and each rake would pull into Clapham Junction and drop off half of the rake, and then continue on to Vauxhall Station with the rest. And there they would pull up in sort of a siding area, and they would deposit the milk into some pipes that would run underground to the creamery, which was across the road. And I got thinking about this, and I thought, wouldn't that be really cool to have something on the layout that had that sort of functionality? So by having a rake of milk wagons, I could actually make a run from Gosport to Fareham, or from Fareham to London, Eastleigh to London, kind of move it about. And so what I started doing was having a look at my layout. That's not the London section, this is the London section, right. So this is the London section. Let me just orientate this properly. So here we have, it's going to be like, I don't know which way it's going to. Anyway, here's the backboard. All right, and this will be leading up to the corner, which will go down to Gosport Station. So it's backwards on the camera, but anyway, the main point is that the main lines run through, and then they curve, go behind the backboard, and there's a lot of space over here that I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to do something there? And so I'm wondering about bringing a branch line off of the or a head shunt line or a siding off of the main line, where I could have some sort of tank area next to some sidings where the tanks could unload their milk. And then I thought I could have some sort of road entrance for trucks, and then maybe also have a little bit of some low relief buildings down there as well, just to give it an impression that it's sort of, there's a street right next to it. So that's a thought. I really like the idea. It gives me kind of a reason to have particular goods rakes or goods trains, and so I think I'm probably going to go for that. It's completely different than anything I had thought about before, but it just adds a little bit something. I was feeling that the London part of the layout was, other than the actual station itself, was a little bit bare of scenery. So at some point when I actually get into building that, I shall play around with some ideas and see about where I could position those and how I could work on that. So that's the second point. And the third point is that yesterday I went into Hobbytown USA, which really only sells American model railway stuff, but I did go in on the off chance that they had, they call them trucks, but basically they're bogies, for my underground 1938 tube stock. And so I have, I picked up 2 packs of these. They are 4-wheel bogies, and they have couplings on them, which I may have to move a little bit. I may have to move it further forward to the end of the end of the carriage or the car, and then the wheels will be a little bit further back in keeping with the prototype. So I've bought 2 sets of them. I've got enough therefore for two rolling stock cars, and that will just allow me to firstly test the prototype, or not the prototype, the first printing that we're going to do to see if it works. We'll be able to fit the wheels or the bogies and see if it runs on track well, particularly going around curves. And then having the second set means that if the first one works, we'll print a second one, and then we can attach those with the aim of checking that when it goes around a corner, the distance doesn't mean that the carriages are hitting each other and therefore derailing. So that's the excuse for buying those anyway. I also saw some Atlas viaducts. Unfortunately, they were only single track viaducts, and as I'm not anywhere near the building stage yet, I sort of held back from purchasing those, but I was very tempted, I will admit. So I think that's pretty much it for this layout update. As I say, I haven't got a layout yet, but I have got the plans, and they are developing as we go through. Oh, actually, one other thing that I did do this week, as I watched a video from Simon's Shed, which is his YouTube channel, and he's doing a layout in his shed, and he's basing it on the Severn Valley Railway, and his layout's called the Shed Valley Railway, and it's absolutely beautiful. He's doing some great work, but he did a review of the Z21 DCC controller box, and I was listening to this, and it was an absolutely great review. I would highly recommend it, and I will put a link in the description below. But anyway, he was telling me about this, or was telling the viewers about this, and I've really fallen in love with it. I think that's probably the one that I'm going to get when I get to it. The fact that you can get it online for about £125 does make a difference, and I downloaded the app onto my iPhone, and it was fantastic. It just looks really simple, and I can get an iPad in the future and put it on there as well, and it's even better on the iPad. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. The Z21, it'd be the white box, not the black box. I believe the black box is like the pro version of the white version. So yeah, my layout is starting to come together a little bit more. The plans are kind of starting to solidify a bit more. And if you've got any feedback on anything that I've said in this video, I would really appreciate to see it in the comments, because I am a novice. I am not going to claim to be any expert on model railways. For railway advice about sort of the prototypical stuff, I tend to go to my best friend because he knows a lot about it. But I just like creating things, and a model railway is something that I really do want to give a go. So anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Obviously, if you've liked this video or any of my other videos, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Would love to hear your feedback. It's always good to get that. And hopefully we'll see you soon on another episode of Gosport Junction. You take care.